You know the Boy Scout creed, be prepared. Well, he was, and it paid off. Today, little Colter Conway is not able to thank Jacob Peterson yet because he's only 18 months old, but he owes his life to Jacob and his Boy Scout CPR training. On Wednesday, little Colter fell into a pool. His mother got him out of the water and tried to call for help.
Where's your baby? Where is your baby? Ma'am, calm down and listen to me. Where is your baby?
He's laying on the floor right now.
Okay, is your baby breathing?
He is breathing.
He is breathing.
That was right when Jacob was on his way over to cut the Conway lawn. But Jacob saw what was going on and immediately began helping Colter's mother.
And I was useless because I was upset and frustrated that I don't think I could have performed any CPR had I really known it. And then Jacob coming in and taking over like he did.
When we took the classes and stuff, I practiced a lot on the dummies and stuff. They had baby dummies and the full adult-sized dummies. And I think I worked with the baby dummies more than I did the adults. And luckily, I had more experience with the babies, I guess, luckily.
Boy, you better get a merit badge for that,
yeah.
Huh? Jacob's a 15-year-old Boy Scout who had just learned CPR in June. He says he never thought he'd ever have to use it on a real person.
Good thing.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
April, thank you. We all know how important knowing CPR is, especially with children around water, and nobody knows that better than one SRP employee.
Yeah, he's credited for saving a young boy's life when he was just 15 years old, and now he wants you to know CPR too. Kylie Cruz, live in Tempe with the story.
And good morning. Right now, he's actually speaking at an event, and we are going to have a surprise reunion in just about a minute or so. But we want to take you back years, about 26 years ago, and walk you through what happened one day in Mike's household. Mike, your son, 4 years old at the time, had gotten in the pool, and he was pulled out of the water by your wife. You weren't home at the time, but that man up there speaking, Jacob, was coming by to mow the lawn and jumped into action and saved your son's life.
The Mesa Fire Department says he saved the life of an 18-month-old toddler, all thanks to CPR lessons that he took earlier this summer. Carol Archer has our story.
He's only 15, but earlier today, the weight of the world was on his shoulders. Jacob Peterson held the life of an 18-month-old baby in his hands. This morning, Jacob went to Mike and Shelley Conway's house to mow their lawn. Instead, he found a disaster in progress. Little Colter Conway had fallen in the pool.
Checked for a pulse, and he had a pulse. And so then I checked for breathing, but he wasn't breathing. And so then the news all blue and pale and kind of cold, so I started mouth-to-mouth about 5 times, and then after about 5 times, I heard him, he started coughing.
A faulty latch on the pool gate allowed the 4 Conway children inside just long enough for Colter to fall in. The Conways are making sure this never happens again. They took CPR classes in the hospital this afternoon, and Mr. Conway has already fixed the pool gate. Jacob says he's not a hero, just at the right place at the right time, but he does have some advice.
I think it would be a good idea for everybody to know CPR because you never know when you might use it. I never thought I'd have to use it.
In Mesa, Carol Archer, Channel 10 News.
Now, the sad irony to the story is that just last night, the Conway saw one of Dave Muncie's summer of supervision spots on our air, and after seeing it, Mr. Conway turned to his wife and told her that it was time to get that gate fixed. Now,
what happened?
It changed the course of our family's life. He was actually a year and a half old when he was in the pool, and so when Jacob actually jumped in, if it was 2 minutes later, that child probably would have been brain dead or completely dead. And so it changed the course of our family's life because of Jacob actually listening, getting CPR trained, and doing the thing that he had been trained on to do. It's really cool.
So he got to your house and immediately jumped in. We're going to right now have a little reunion. So basically your son, walk me through, is walking up, and he is going
26 years later, yes.
And has he seen Jacob any time?
No, only once.
Oh, here we go.
This is Colter Conway.
What's it like to see that?
Very emotional.
He's 18 months old.
He has a child of his own right now, and he's just finishing his master's in accounting program, so you have no idea this crossroad that has changed because of Jacob Peterson and just for the fact of spending a whole 2 hours a month earlier on just infants on CPR. I have no idea what has changed in our life.
Your son might not be here if it wasn't for that man speaking, Jacob.
It's not,
and if he was here, he could easily have been brain dead.
Exactly. Well, it's not just that. I think my wife was 6 weeks pregnant at the time. Who knows what would have happened even after that? We ended up having 8 children. I know it's a lot, but nonetheless, it was just amazing. It's just amazing what the changes in life. There's so many ripples that occurred as a result of it. And you can tell Jacob is emotional. We're emotional about the whole thing. We have been. And here it is 26 years later, and it still is, for the rest of our lives, we will be indebted to Jacob, and listening to that thing to get CPR trained and to actually save our child's life.
You know, we talk about it a lot because obviously in summer we know a lot of people are at pools, and you know, in Arizona you're always trying to cool off. But you don't ever think it's going to happen to you, right? As a parent, you always think, oh, I've got all the precautions in place, or I'm good to go. And it can happen to anybody.
It is. We had a gate around the pool, and if it wasn't for my wife, you know, she was in the back room doing whatever, cleaning. She asked one of my other sons, go check on the 2 kids. And our 1.5 and our 3-year-old was able to manipulate themselves into the pool area. And it does only take seconds. When my wife jumped into the pool, got Coulter out, she completely freaked out. She had no idea what to do, tried to call 911. It wasn't working. And Jacob showed at the door the second she laid him on the floor. If he had waited 2 more minutes, 3 more minutes, because that's how long it took for the fire department to come, I have no idea what the outcome would have been.
Wow, it is so great to be here. Thank you so much to kind of narrate for us as we watch this reunion happen. As you can see, 26 years ago, Jacob right there speaking, he rescued and was able to save young Coulter now, who is a very productive member of society, finishing up his master's at BYU and living an amazing life, all because of Jacob. So I love to be able to share this reunion. And guys, before we go, we do want to mention that compression-only CPR, it doesn't benefit as much in situations like this with drowning. The folks here say you need to know mouth-to-mouth CPR when you are around kids and water. So we have a list on our website. We're going to put that up, easyfamily.com, so that you can find a free class in your neighborhood, because there's a bunch of classes they're offering this month in honor of Drowning Impact Awareness Month. So we'll get all that information on our website so you can learn compression-only CPR, or you can learn the chest mouth-to-mouth CPR, because we know that's important.
What
that
a beautiful
is an incredible story, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm so glad you shared that with us, Kylie. Thank you, and so happy for them.
What a reunion, huh?
It's incredible. Coming up.